Okay, today I will discuss a relevant and a considerable topic about our profession. So are you excited? Yes. Pag busog na talaga, we're so excited, no? And we're so sleepy also. I hope you will not sleep, even it's already night time. Okay, so thank you very much for the UAP Corinthian chapter for this lovely GMM, and thank you for hosting here in this historical place in Luneta Hotel. Okay, so there are some challenges that we are facing as an architect. So some of you have this type of challenges. First is, are you a young architect who does not know where to go, how to map your career? Okay. Are you struggling in your practice and feel a lot of disappointments? So for some architects, they have these feelings. Are you the architect who does not grow and feel incompetent compared to the rest of your contemporaries? Fourth one, are you the leader who struggles to manage your people and project? And lastly, are you the owner of a company who tussles to survive and be successful? So these are some of the challenges that we are facing. Some of you have this, maybe some of you doesn't have. But at the end of the day, some of us have our different struggles. And I'm sure, in your own words, do you have one, at least one. Okay, so my outline, I have proposed to you, okay, the G aspect of architectural practice. Okay, so let me show to you the three aspects of architectural practice. And of course, yours truly, Architect Eric Baño, from Concipio Tektura, my personal company. It's an architectural design studio based in Makati. Okay. So let's go back on the three aspects of architectural practice. The first one, the technical aspect. Okay. The second one will be the management aspect. And then the third one is the business aspect. Okay. So I have one question for you, for all of you. So what does it benefit you? Okay. So on the first 5 questions that I ask you as challenges, the question go back on yourself. You were asking, what does it benefit you? Or what does it benefit on me? Okay. So today we will map these things so that you can appreciate and understand the importance of this aspect in our profession. Okay. That is something that you can evaluate later or do the next in your practice. Okay. So the first one I mentioned a while ago is this one, the technical aspect. They said where you become an expert on what you do. Okay. So let me see the demographic of architects on this category. The first group will be the young and the new architects. Maybe less than 10 years in terms of being an architect. So maybe the photo is something like that. Okay. I don't have Filipino architects, but maybe we can have later on. So mostly these are designers, site architects, project architects, 3D visualizers, draftsmen, specs writers, instructors, or maybe some other profession under the less than 10 years, or the young and the new architect. So on this time, where the theories that we learned in school are now tested by the reality of our practice. The skills we acquired back there are now being used in our daily work. Is that true? Antok na nga talaga. Diba? Just bear with me. This one is really short, so I'll just give my whole point. We become better technicians, we have a hands-on approach, and we do the grant of work. So basically, new and young architects normally sila naiiwan sa office, right? They're doing the whole grant of work, maybe 24 hours working in a company. I don't know if you're working for some of the top architectural firms. One time, I'm working with a PRSP, may tinatawag kami double suicide. Ito yung overnight na, overtime, the following day, overnight, overtime. Okay? Tawag namin yan double suicide. You have to go back in the office the same time, 8 o'clock. Even you go back or go home at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay? So this is the young and new architects. This is the technical aspect. Now I'll go to the second point. This is the second point in my outline. Okay, so I have one question. What are the things you should focus on this aspect? Okay. This is apprenticeship. This is skills and program trainings. This is proactive exposure. And this is intentional learning. So these are some of my suggestions in terms of what you can focus as a young and new architects. We know apprenticeship will not end after the board exam. If you are really into practice of architecture, apprenticeship will not finish in your logbook. It always go back after you finish. Or being an architect, you still do apprenticeship to someone you respected, something that you believe on, and something that you emulate, something that you want to be later on. And then the second one is skills and program trainings. This one is something you need to develop more skills as a young architect. For example, it started when the time that we graduated, we still use the freehand in terms of our drafting, in terms of our rendering. But we need to develop new skills, and that's the reason why that time the 3D visualization is just starting in our industry, especially here in the Philippines. And later on, photorealistic rendering are now coming in, and then later on the BIM, the Revit. So these are something that you can learn as young, as eager right now, as an architect. The third one is the proactive exposure. Sometimes you end up in a company that doesn't have any program at all. Do you agree on that? You will end up in a firm, just do the drafting and whatever. You learn something, you don't learn, we don't care. And this is something I'm encouraging for young architects right now here in this office, not in this office, but here in this hall, that you should be proactive in terms of exposing yourself to other experience or other things that you can learn as an architect. And this is the proactive exposure that I'm talking about. And then go back, okay. And then the last one is intentional learning. Intentional learning is something that when you go in one firm, you have one objective. I used to work with Callison RTKL in Arcadis. One of my intentions is really to learn the Revit, the BIM, and doing the working drawings, coordinating in the US, doing the Starbucks account. So that is intentional learning. I'm there not because I just want to be part of Arcadis or Callison RTKL. My objective is to really learn the BIM. Because currently in US and in other countries that I've worked with, going back here in the Philippines, I see the trend of BIM is now the number one objective of all the companies. They want to shift from the AutoCAD, the 2D drawings, into a 3-dimensional.